Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Crystal Flaffy, and today we're going to talk about Pixie. I am a bit later in recording this than I wanted to. Life happens, okay? I'm actually a little bit sick right now. I got a, massive headache. But I wanted to record this anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Pixie is currently in the rebirth at the time of my recording this. I don't know if I'm going to get it up in time before it ends. But anyway, she will be here again at the end of the month, so probably the 31st of December to the 2nd, or however many days it lasts. I think it's 5 days now, actually, so probably until like the 3rd or 4th of January, she'll be back again. So yeah, we're going to talk about her in this one here. There was another Rebirth Mon that was announced, and I'm assuming it'll be the next one for like mid and end of January, and that's the Harlequin line. So we'll talk about those ones in a future video. I'll wait until like next month, around the time that it's actually obtainable to talk about it. But anyway, here we are with Pixie. Oh yeah, wanted to mention real quick, I will be talking about Snowy and Rudolph as well. They're going to be the current Capture Festival Mons for the month, so don't worry, I will talk about them, and they're going to be the next 2 videos. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, here's Evo 1 Fire Pixie. Super cute. Evo 2. Also cute. And the Evo 3. She is super cute. Reminds me of that, I don't know if it's like a stereotype or whatever that, well, I guess it is a stereotype. Or in like movies, it's like a Dutch girl or whatever, that a Dutch female bartender or waitress or whatever. Kind of dressed like that. That's what her outfit makes me think of. Anyway, let's look at the stats. Well, actually forgot to look at the variant. So here's the variant. I love the variant. Mine is variant, and I got really used to it. The regular one is very nice too, but I love the pink hair from the variant, so I'm going with that one. Looking at the stats, she is a tank, but her stats aren't really tank-like. Her HP is low for a tank. For a Nat 4 tank, it's normally around like 35k plus, like between 35 and 40k is the average range for Nat 4 tanks, sorry. And then her recovery is a bit higher for a Nat 4 tank, which is good because she is a healer. The Pixies are healers. But yeah, just another Mon to show that the type, like the role that an Astromon has, isn't as important. You need to look at the actual stats. But yeah, so good HP. Her recovery is a little bit lower than you'd like because she is a healer. So you'd want her recovery to be a bit higher, but it's nothing bad. It's just okay. Her defense is low though. Her attack doesn't really matter, but it's also low too. But you're not going to be expecting much damage from her anyway. Looking at the skills, the leader skill for Pixie is crit rate up 15 to 20%, which is really good. Because of course, Titans, you mostly want to use them, healers, you mostly want to use them in Titans, and crit rate lead, since it is an offensive leader skill, is very good for that. Then to the 3-star, she has Adrenaline. It's HP up, a self-heal, 20%. Skill books bring it up to 25 and give a 20% damage boost. 5-star, she has Defense up 2 turns, and skill books bring that up to 3 turns and give a 20% boost to the recovery. It would be nice if it was 3 turns before books. It really sucks that she needs books to get to 3 turns because she is one of the... She is the best defense up healer for the Fire Mons. The only other one that I can think of is Cherry, and Cherry has lower stats overall, I believe. But then Cherry also needs books, but Cherry's books are easier to get. So yeah, if she didn't need books, she'd be so much better for her 3-star to be, her 5-star to be 3 turns. But with books, she's amazing. So just, if you go for Pixie and you go for Fire, I definitely recommend prioritizing Fire with the books. Where you'd use, as I said, Titans. And for gemming, typical Titan healer Mons, HP defense recovery would be ideal. If you can, get a good set, a good vitality set just to increase the recovery a little bit more. It could use the extra boost. Or, what's the name of that other set? the HP and recovery one. I think it's longevity. Longevity might be the one that gives a, what is it, a 15% boost to HP and recovery, or a 10% boost to both of them. I don't remember, but that set is also really good for her as well. And yeah, let's go on to water. Something else I do want to mention about fire real quick is filling up her or investing heavily into her HP with her gemming isn't as required or isn't as necessary because her adrenaline. I feel like it makes her survivable enough. So yeah, like my Pixie ends up lasting longer than my CS mons, and she's built HP, defense, recovery, no trinkets or anything. So she's a very survivable mon. So yeah, a little bit more investment in recovery would be better over a little bit extra investment in HP. So a life set wouldn't be as beneficial for her as a vitality set, just because you'll live too long, and you don't want your healers living too much longer than your CS mons. But anyway, on to water. So here's the regular. I love the blue hair. Here's the variant. Damn it, this is hard. Like, the hair color is close to the same, just like variant is lighter. But then the dress is purple. Okay, I like the variant more. Yeah, so we're gonna go with the variant for this one. She's a recovery type, and her HP is really good, her recovery is really good, her defense and attack are also low. Not so much of an issue for the attack, but that defense could use a little bit more points there. Looking at the skills, she has Sap on her 3-star, 70%, 2 types, 1 turn. Now, I don't know the skill book values for her, as I don't have one. I did look up on the MSL Reddit, just searching up for the Pixie skill book values, and at the time her books were introduced 2 years ago, it gave a 20% boost to the Sap, so it would be 90%, 2 types, 1 turn, and then a 20% damage boost. And then for her 5-star, which is Dominance for 2 turns, it just gets a 30% recovery boost. Now, I don't know if that is up to date. I don't know if there was any changes in her skill set or whatever that would make a difference there. But if you have a water one, you can let me know in the comments below if I was wrong. If it's right, then whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway, where you would use her. I was actually not having a difficult time, but I thought she was a lot worse than she actually is. At first you'd look at her and you'd see Dominance and you'd really want to use it. And you'd be like, oh yeah, PvP, definitely. Which she can do. She can definitely go for PvP for defense most likely, just because Dominance is a really good skill for that. But her Sap is actually pretty good. Even though it's only 1 turn, it is 2 types, so I think using her in Water Colossus would probably be the best place for her. You can use her in Titans just as a general healer, just know that her skills don't really help much. You'd just be using her there for the fact that she's a healer. The Sap is okay because it does lower the resist of the Titan a little bit, but it's not enough to make it much of a difference. And using her for GB10 I don't think is an option, just because her AoE, she doesn't have an offensive skill for her AoE since she is a healer, and healers aren't really necessary there. But Water Colossus specifically I think would be really good. Not really for her heal. The Dominance won't be useful there, but the Sap is what you want to use there. That is really useful. You know what? The Dominance might be useful if you have like a Draka team and you have her as one of the healers there. The Dominance could make it so that the Colossus's healer that gives the defense up doesn't get its heal off. So then you won't have to worry about defense up, which is nice. But mostly you would be using it there for the Sap. Not so much the Dominance. And yeah, that's going to be it for the water one. I don't have water, as you can see. But I don't know. I'm interested now. I didn't realize that it actually could be useful for Water Colossus until writing my notes for this video. So there's potential there. But anyway, let's go to wood. So here we go. I love the green, all that. And, you know, I like this variant just because it's not one of those wood variants that turn like orange or brown to where they're unappealing. but I'm still conflicted between the variant and the regular. I like the green hair. Like, I just love it when the characters have unnatural hair colors. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the regular, just because of the hair, though I like the dress of the regular one, the variant more. Anyway, looking at the stats, she's recovery type, and her HP and recovery are decent. They're good, but as we can tell from just looking at water, they are a little bit lower. Though, what she makes up for in HP and recovery, she does have a bit higher of an attack stat. Her defense is still low, but that attack stat is pretty nice, and that is okay for her because of where you want to use her, which we'll get into in a moment. So on her 3-star, she has Sleep, 70% 2 turns, Skill Books bring it up to 80% and give a 20% damage boost. And on 5-star, she has Vigor, which is for 18 turns. That's 18 turns, holy shit, that'd be that'd be amazing. The Vigor is for 2 turns, and Skill Books give it a 5% boost to its effectiveness. I don't know the actual percent that Vigor heals, but whatever it is, add 5%, and that's what it does after books. And then the general heal from her 5-star gets a 20% recovery boost. So, she is an interesting mon. Just because Sleep is okay for CC, and Vigor is actually okay for PvP if you have a high HP team. So, I think using her for PvP is the best place, just because she'll be putting people to sleep, she'll be spreading CC, and then the Vigor is nice. She's not that great for it, though, just because resist, and of course being a Woodmon in a Drakka-heavy metagame isn't that great. It's just interesting, you know? Because ever since I thought of using Sleep offensively with Dark Succubus, I've grown to like the skill a lot more. So I do see some potential in her, and her having a decent attack stat for a healer is decent. But again, it's just interesting. I don't know how viable she'd be, but it's interesting. You can also use her for Titans just as a healer. Vigor is nice for that as well, though you would rather have attack up or defense up or a shield or something. Vigor is still decent until you can get better healers. And that's about it for her. How I would build her, if using her for PvP, you can either go HP defense, or HP defense, either of those. Though it would be interesting to go with a bruiser build, just HP defense attack, just because she does have a decent attack stat and doing some decent damage. And then sleeping people is nice. And then, of course, Sleep gives you a free crit if you hit a sleeping mon. So, if you invest in her attack, she will be doing decent damage, but I don't think that'll be that great. It just has potential, you know? It has potential, but not a lot. And also, of course, you can use a typical recovery build, healer build for Titan's HP defense recovery as well. But anyway, let's move on to Light. There she is. Here's the variant. I like them both. I like them both a lot. I like the variant more though, just because the bright yellow from the dress is a bit too much for me. Whereas the variant, it's like more lighter tones. Nice, I like that. But I like the hair for both. Looking at the stats, she is also a recovery type. She has good HP and recovery. Her defense is okay as well. I think she has the highest. I don't remember what Dark's is, but between the ones that we've looked at so far, she has the highest defense out of all of them, which is really nice. So that's good there. Her attack is low, but doesn't really matter. Looking at her skills, she has defense down 60% 2 turns on her 3-star. Skill books bring it up to 75% and give a 15% damage boost. And then on her 5-star, she also has Vigor, though to set her apart from Wood has just flat Vigor, whereas Light has large Vigor. So her Vigor gives a certain percentage more of healing. I don't know how much. I think it's like 30% or something. Not sure though. And it only lasts 2 turns. Skill books give a 5% boost to its effectiveness and a 20% recovery boost. So where you'd want to use it, use Light Pixie. You'd want to use her in Titans because defense down on a healer is really good. Vigor, of course, is not the best buff you can get from a healer, because, as I said, you want shields, attack up, or defense up, though Vigor is one of the decent alternatives. Off the top of my head, it'd probably be the 4th best heal for Titans. Because we have attack up, defense up, shield, those are the best 3. And then I think Vigor would be 4th. Because, like, dominance is useless, resilience isn't that great, morale boost isn't that great. Yeah, I think Vigor would be 4th. But yeah, you'd really only want to use her for Titans, and how I would build her, just typical recovery, healer build, HP defense recovery. So yeah, that is that, and let's move on to Dark. That was, I think, the quickest one we talked about. She's just a lot more straightforward than the other ones have been so far. So then, here we have Dark, last but not least. Her defense is lower than Light's, so yeah, Light does have the highest defense out of them all. Looking at her appearance, though, I love the variant. The variant's colors are amazing. Purple all over, I love it. Looking at her stats, she is a recovery type. She has good recovery. Her attack is decent as well. It is lower than Wood's, but still decent. Her HP is actually a lot lower than you'd like. It'd be nice if it was at least 26k. It's not like super low, but it could be better. Her defense is low though. Looking at her skills, she has Battle Rush on her 3-star, 20%. Skill books bring it up to 25% and give a 20% damage boost. And then on her 5-star, she has Resilience for 3 turns. Skill books just give a 30% recovery boost there. So the thing about Dark is that it doesn't really have a place that it excels. Battle Rush is really good for PvP. So putting it on your PvP defense team is decent. And Resilience is decent for that, but Resilience doesn't really have any place that it shines. Resilience might be okay for Titans, but I've never tried it. So I don't know how much heal you're gonna, how much SP generation you're gonna get from it. Yeah, so like I feel like Resilience really does hold her back from being good. If her 5-star was any other buff, well, not any other buff, but it'd be really nice if her 5-star was like a shield or defense up. Not defense up, that's not what I meant to say. Dominance is what I meant to say. So if it was shield or dominance, she'd be absolutely amazing. But that Resilience does hold her back. So just putting her on your PvP defense team or something with that Battle Rush is good. She'll sit there. She'll just sit there and heal and self-sustain, you know? But she won't really present any offensive threat to your opponent. So she would literally just be there to take hits, not to do any damage. Though pairing her with like stronger aggressors or something would be interesting. That would definitely be an interesting thing to do. Or even using her for offense, I guess, because Resilience would be probably okay for that. If your opponent does decent damage or your offense team doesn't have high defensive stats. I don't know. Resilience is just weird, man. It's a very weird skill. Like, it's good in theory, but there isn't really a place that it does well. So, yeah, that does hold her back a lot. Before we go into prioritizing, though, I just want to... I only have fire built, so I'll show you how I built mine, so you can get a decent example of how to go about it. I did used to use light, but she did fall off just because I didn't need her as much anymore. I did use her for my Wood Titan team long ago, just for her defense down on the left side, as the left side healer. But then I ended up getting better mons, and I stopped, better mons for Wood Titan, and stopped using her. Maybe I'll use her again, I don't know. But anyway, here's fire. I think I have her on here's defense, HP, and recovery, and of course on a vitality set, just to get that extra 25% recovery boost. Looking at the final stats, there you are, really good at HP and recovery. Her defense is good too, just below 4k. It's really nice. I do have a lot of resist on her, which honestly, I think I might switch her gems to someone else, just because resist isn't really needed for your Fire Titan teams, just because the debuff from the Wood Titan isn't super threatening. The only thing you have to worry about is taunt, so the resist isn't as necessary there. So yeah, I might replace these with gems that have more defense and HP and recovery subs over resist subs. Yeah, I should definitely do that. Yeah, I'm going to look into that next time we have a free gem removal day. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. How I would prioritize them. Fire is definitely #1 priority. Light would be second, just because defense down healer is really good. Next was a toss-up. Not a toss-up, it was just difficult to decide. So I'm going to put water in the 3rd spot, just because the potential there for Drakka teams against the Water Colossus are really good, or the potential is really high. And then I would put Wood next, just because she does, both her skills do have a use in PvP. Vigor is good there, Sleep is good there. Whereas with Dark, which I put last place, Battle Rush does have a good use, but Resilience really does not have a use. So yeah, that's why I put Dark last. But yeah, gonna wrap it up there. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Again, ask any questions. If I missed something or whatever, let me know. And yeah, have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.